The most obvious one is the extension of the time period. The game now covers 1890 to 1970. So that is 80 years of ship design and naval warfare in one game. Those are a very dynamic 80 years. More probably changed in those 80 years than in any previous time in all of naval history. So there are a number of new technologies, radar, missiles, and not only technology, tactics have to change as well, how ships move and how they are organized into formations. That is both how they act in the ironclad age, where engagement ranges are much shorter, and then up into the air and missile age, where you need completely different formations. We have also added more nations in the game, the number of nations you can play and play against. There are also wars between AI nations. That was something requested by players. In previous iterations, all the wars were between the player and one or more of the AI nations. There are some more features that has been requested by players. You can organize your ships in divisions, and they will deploy in battle in those divisions. There are officers that will command your ships, and you can move the officers around. Ship histories are recorded for every individual ship, when they are launched, when they are rebuilt or put in reserve, and when they participate in battles. Well, I have some things I would like to point out. For example, the Playable Nations. You can play as many different nations: Germany, Great Britain, Austria-Hungary, France, USA, Russia, even Spain, China, and I almost forgot Italy. Spain and China are very small nations, of course, and weak in this time period, so you can play them, though that is really difficult mode or almost mission impossible, but you can play them if you want to. I should perhaps also add something about the economy and the prestige system. There is an economic model underlying the game, because when I started developing the game, I found out that you cannot really have a decent naval arms race without economic development. The size of battleships rose very quickly in the early 20th century, but ships also became much more expensive. So I had to build in an economic background and an expanding economy to make it realistic. There is also a prestige system that kind of drives the game. So as the player, you are the Grand Admiral, and you have a prestige rating, and if your prestige goes too low, you might get sacked. And you gain prestige by winning battles or driving a generally hawkish agenda. You lose prestige by losing battles, or if you appear weak or dovish. And you can also use prestige to prevent policies you don't like or to replace your officers.